Discipline is how you practice self-love. Mastering the self and being able to say no, not yet, not right now, knowing that you're saying yes to a version of yourself that you want to become, being able to deny yourself immediate pleasure and delay that gratification is proving to yourself that you're devoted to yourself, you're loyal, you're committed to yourself. And don't let a lack of discipline be what costs you the life that you know you're supposed to live. I know that many of you are creative women, you're ambitious women, and you want to build a personal brand around your creative gifts. But if fear of being seen, imposter syndrome, not knowing how to be visible, doubting yourself are all getting in the way of you starting, I have a cohort that's starting September 7th, and I am taking applications right now. I've been going over them, and I'm really excited to be working with these incredible women who are really committed to starting this journey of showing up online. And if you're interested in applying, the link will be in the description. I'm going to break down discipline into 4 different categories: my mornings, the working day, my evenings, and my philosophy. Let's talk about mornings. The secret to waking up early is not having this goal of being a 5 a.m. person. I really used to be someone who wanted to wake up at the same time every single morning. And the truth about life is that it fluctuates. Sometimes I'm out later, sometimes I'm not. So am I going to feel guilty because I didn't wake up at 6 a.m. after I had been out, like talking to friends until 1 a.m? No, that's not the kind of life that I want to live. But I do think that it's about waking up early enough to have some time to yourself. Now, I love to have a slow, magical, erotic, enjoyable, romanticized morning, and I love to savor it. I want to wake up in the morning, make my coffee. I've been turning on the projector and having some lo-fi playing or some rain sounds or have somebody playing singing bowls in the morning. And I really try to intentionally savor the moment. How would I be looking at this in a cinematic way? If my eyes were a movie and I'm the director, how am I enjoying this morning? And how can I take this time for myself to really set up my day well? Sometimes, on like a Saturday or a Sunday, I might have 2 hours to do that because I don't have much on my schedule. But during the weekday, maybe I only have 30 minutes. I always want to make time for me. For me, I wake up, I always do my skincare, I go and make myself some coffee. I have a spiritual practice. Right now, it's journaling, reading, and meditating. I meditate for 7 minutes. I'm really trying to be consistent, so I'm not trying to put too big of a goal on my meditation practice. But I've been doing these heart meditations, and I've really been enjoying them. But it's all about creating a morning that you're looking forward to, so that if you do have to wake up a little bit earlier before your day starts, it doesn't feel like discipline. Right? Ultimately it is, right? It's having the discipline to do that, and it might not feel exciting the first few times, but it's slowly creating something that you actually love. So then after that, I always get ready at least a little bit, right? I always have a skin tint. I put fake freckles on. I do my lip stain, just a little bit of like light makeup to make me feel and like signify to my brain that it's time to start the day. And I put on a different outfit. Sometimes I feel like prioritizing sleep or prioritizing rest actually won't give you as much energy as if you prioritize having a space in the morning for you to connect with yourself. And I always have a big savory breakfast. This is something that I recently have incorporated because in the past, I used to have like a really teeny tiny breakfast, and I've actually realized when I have a really more nutritious breakfast in the morning, I'm powered up for my workout. I don't eat it immediately upon waking up, but like after an hour or so of waking up, I'll eat like my big breakfast. I'll have like potatoes, eggs, turkey bacon. I'll try to include some fiber, or like I'll have avocado toast, just something in the morning to really keep me sustained and nourished throughout the day. And then working out. I like to do it either in the late morning or in the afternoon, but you have to have a workout routine. Like you cannot survive this life without some sort of weekly working out. Personally, I have a 4-day split. I do 2 leg days. I do a push day and I do a pull day. And then I also do table tennis on Saturdays. And sometimes I'll incorporate a yoga class or two, and then I walk a lot. I walk probably at least 10,000 steps a day. That's something that I've slowly built over the years, but I'm obsessed with my morning routine. It literally gives me so much joy. I know exactly what to do, and it just makes me really happy. Here are some things that I like to do during the afternoon and during the workday that have helped me, some productivity tips. One of my favorites is I just got this app of a little bean. And when I want to not look at my phone, you can set a timer and he will literally be knitting socks, and you can't use your apps while he's knitting socks. I mean, you can stop it if you want, but then it'll say that you've made Bean really sad, and I don't like making my Bean really sad. And then with those socks, you can buy things to decorate his apartment. I literally am so obsessed with this app. I think it's so cute. And if ever I'm just like, I need a break from my phone, I'll just be like, oh, I can have my Bean make some socks. I've also created a shortcut on my phone where if I triple click the sides, it'll turn it black and white. I also put a widget of my screen time on my phone. I'm really on my phone a lot, but I like it to be there just so I'm keeping track, at least be mindful of how much time I'm spending on my phone. The biggest thing that has helped me schedule and plan my life is using Notion. Call it Pearl World, and I have it divided into 3 different sections: daily, mission and vision, and brain dump. The thing that I use most is my agenda in my daily section, but I also have like my content planner there, my workout split, my weekly habit tracker, and my meal plan and groceries. And then in my mission and vision section, I have my 2025 goals and vision board. And then I have a journal about my dream self. And then in brain dump, I don't use this as much. It's more something that I used at the beginning of the year, but I just like to have this here just in case I want to put my brain somewhere. One of the biggest productivity hacks is using Pomodoro. The Pomodoro method is a timer, and it's free. It's literally just a website, and it's 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest 4 times. So you get a 2-hour chunk of work done, divided up into 4 sections, and it's way more doable that way. And I've gotten so much work done using this method. One game-changing thing that I've done is to track my expenses every single Sunday. Every Sunday, I log into my accounts and I look at everything that I spent and I track it to the penny just so that I know how much money I'm making and how much money I'm spending. I input it personally because I think when you outsource it to an app, you don't really have control. And I think when you're really wanting to understand what's going on with your money, being more hands-on is way better. And it actually makes you feel like you know what's happening with your money. I also practice Duolingo every single day. I have about a 900-day streak. And I always knew that Duolingo wasn't going to be how I learned a language, but I just kind of wanted to almost keep it in the back burner. And I would literally do like 1 minute or like 30 seconds of Duolingo every day, just so I'm committed to practicing a language. And then recently I've kind of upped my game and included other things because I really actually want to learn Spanish in a very real way. In the evening, a game-changing habit for me has been resetting the space before bed, making sure that all the dishes are done, making sure that I've just tidied up the house so that I wake up to my apartment not feeling like I have a bunch of things to do. I don't do this 100% of the time, but I would say I do it 90, maybe 95. And it's actually kind of climbing up there because the more that you do it, the more that it just becomes habit. And it feels so good actually just to like get everything done and have like a closing shift, a closing down the apartment time. And then I always do my skincare at night, even if I don't feel like doing it, which a lot of times I didn't. I try to romanticize the process as well. If I get home really late, I do have like a truncated version of it. Like I'll just take off my makeup and wash my face and then put moisturizer. Like you don't always have to do like the 1,000,000-step routine. So I have my I have time skincare and then I have my I don't have time skincare routine, but I always do something because I don't like waking up in the morning and that feeling of like, oh, I didn't do my skincare routine and now like my face is like all grimy feeling. Like I just don't like that feeling. One practice that I also do is journaling before bed and taking note of all of my wins. What are all the things that I did today that I didn't used to do? What are all the ways that I didn't shame myself? How did I take tiny small steps toward my big goals? And I always feel better. I literally always feel better after I just name what I've done, because so often I think that we can see our lives from a state of what we haven't done instead of what we have done. So just being able to point out, wow, you did that. It's like being your own lover, which leads me to my philosophy on productivity. So I was thinking about this with yoga. And Shavasana, the pose at the end where you're just lying there resting, That feels so good because of the work that preceded it. Oftentimes, I think that we don't want to be productive because we want to rest, but we don't realize that the rest is actually so much more powerful when we've put in work before. So really thinking of it as earning my rest, not in a way that's like, oh, I'm not worthy unless I earn it. Not like that. It's going to make my rest feel so wonderful if I put in a lot of work. Like there's something that feels so good about working really hard towards something and then resting really hard afterwards. You know how people say do it for the plot? It's like do it for the rest. And then I think with discipline, it's also resisting the all or nothing mindset. I've definitely had times in my life, especially in my early 20s, where I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be the most disciplined person in the world. I want to redo everything. I want to change everything. And of course, yeah, you want all of the results of someone who's disciplined, but it actually is a commitment over the course of your life and becoming disciplined in one area. For me, it was becoming disciplined with working out first. Working out and then eating and kind of figuring out my body image. And that honestly took a really long time. Committing to that took forever. And then working on your spiritual health, working on your mental health, working on your financial health, and just tackling each one of these things one at a time instead of feeling like you have to change every single thing of your life. That's a very tempting thing to do. And it feels really like sexy. But in reality, discipline isn't really sexy work. Like discipline is it's discipline for a reason, right? There's joy in it because of what you can accomplish through really committing to yourself. I think just choosing one main thing that you want to get better at, the ones that you think are going to make the biggest change in your life for now, and then conquering that and then moving on to the next thing. Saying no to yourself feels really good. It actually feels good to say, actually, no, not right now. And building up that tolerance for not getting everything that you want right away. We live in a convenience culture where at the whim of our hearts, we can literally get everything we want. I could get, the most incredible sushi delivered to my door right now. Right this second. I could fly to Russia. I could buy a plane ticket to anywhere I wanted in the world. Is that a good idea though, right? Is that actually going to serve me in the long run? Feeling the joy of no, getting addicted to that feeling. Getting addicted to the feeling of the pleasure of no. What makes discipline worth it is connecting to a bigger vision, having something that you're working toward so that it's not just discipline for discipline's sake, whether that's building your brand on social media or working on your health or finding your soulmate. The discipline and the devotion to yourself isn't just in a vacuum. Having a big, huge vision and then teeny tiny steps, small progress towards that big vision. Continually and constantly speaking to myself like I am my lover. I almost feel silly saying this, but sometimes when I'm like, oh, how do I speak kindly to myself? I'm like, okay, how do I wish that my soulmate, the love of my life, would speak to me? What do I want him to recognize in me? And then speaking like that to myself. That is a discipline. Not giving in to your inner critic, not giving in to speaking poorly to yourself, but saying, no, I'm actually going to keep these boundaries and commit to only speaking kindly to myself. Instead of thinking that berating myself is going to get me closer to my goals, actually pointing out what I've done right is more effective. And I'm going to stick to that. I think also understanding what is pain and what is suffering. In dialectical behavioral therapy, Marsha Linehan, who is the woman who created it, defines suffering as pain plus non-acceptance. You actually suffer twice when you don't accept your life. But if you do, it's just regular painful. So I think really understanding how important pain is to expanding us and almost accepting that a lot of times life can have pain, but it's like the pain of going to the gym. When you know that it's there to grow you, to grow your muscles, then it's a lot easier to accept. Understanding that all of life is self-care. And to take care of yourself, it does require discipline. And I actually have been recently swapping it out for the word devotion because that feels like more of a sacred calling. In order to be devoted to the self, it means that I have to do certain things that I may not feel like doing, but that's self-mastery. And that's so hot. It's so sexy when you meet somebody who, instead of choosing what's easy, they choose what's more difficult. That's a very attractive feature that anyone would respect. So having self-respect will also allow other people to respect you more, and really just seeing all of life as self-care. That's all I have to share today. Thank you so much for listening once again. I literally send gratitude to every single subscriber. I'm so grateful for just the opportunity to even have a platform at all. And growing on YouTube has been so fun and so exciting. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.